What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about tips on how to survive in Norway. I, lo- I love the title of this video, How to Survive in Norway. Like, what are we... We're talking about like Norway is some barren, apocalyptic wasteland where I need to, like, how are you gonna survive? Like, building a tent and getting some kind of sawed-off shotgun so you can fight zombies or something? I thought I don't know if that's just me, but I thought this title was funny. Like, we need tips on how to survive? Stay alive in Norway? I think it's pretty good there. I think your odds of survival in Norway are pretty good. Anyway, I know this video is actually talking about if you go to Norway, live there, or travel there as a foreigner, tips on how to do stuff there, how to acclimate to Norway, things you might not expect, tips on, things you might not understand when you get to Norway and how to survive that whole process. Not actually that your life is at stake for survival. But, it's fun if it's on that as well, that's okay too. But anyway, let's find out tips on how to survive in Norway.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to give you some tips on how to survive in Norway. Before we start the video, I just wanted to talk with you guys very quickly about this project I am involved in. The project is basically an online course.
Oh, I'll probably skip this part. Sorry, but I just want the tips.
Things you need to know before you move, what will help you guide you through the moving process. So it will help you with all the different things you need to know before you move, while you are moving, and after. It's divided in chapters, for example.
Oh, we're still talking about the project. Goodness. Well, it sounds like her project has a lot to do with this video. It gives you instructions and tips on moving to Norway. So that's cool. That's kind of cool. Okay.
We'll have a video explain with more. And I know many asking me about Norway link, and it will be in how to survive Norway. And the first tip I have to give you is about alcohol. So you may or not know that in Norway alcohol is very, very expensive, and it's not all.
Oh, I understand that it is much harder to get, and that the amount of time and places that you have opportunity to get it is a lot more limited than in the United States. In the United States, I mean, they make it easy. But I don't know if I quite appreciated that the alcohol is extra expensive. Just another deterrent, I guess, huh?
Always available. For example, at weekends, not all of the places are selling alcohol. After 6 in the afternoon, I think they stop selling alcohol in the supermarkets. So you have to go to this Vinmonopoly, I think you say it like this, that are these really big stores that only sell alcohol.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that either. So alcohol is sold in grocery stores, supermarkets, but then that's not available after 6. But you can still go to these specialty stores that sell just alcohol, and those are open longer, I guess? Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't quite appreciate that detail. Okay.
And you have to buy it there, and it's really expensive in comparison to other places in Europe. So my tip for you guys is either go to Sweden, like rent a car or catch a bus and go to Sweden to buy alcohol because there it's much cheaper, or bring your favorite alcohol beverages with you in your suitcase.
Just stuff your suitcase full of beer and liquor. Okay. I guess some people can do that. It'd be kind of funny. Is that legal? I don't know. I guess. I've never really tried it. But, yeah, I heard that in another video, that Norwegians can literally just go to Sweden. I never thought about it like that, because unless you live by the Canadian border in the United States, you never think about, oh, I can just hop in my car and go to another country. That is just not something we can do. So I never even considered that Norwegians could just travel to Sweden in one day and come back home. You travel to Sweden just to get some alcohol and then go home. That is so fascinating to me. That is so fun. Like, that is so cool. And I never thought about it like that.
In the airplane when you come here. That's, for example, what I do. The second tip is a little bit similar to the first one, and it has to do with the type of food that exists here. Supermarkets don't have a lot of variety of products. There's always the same things, even if there's different supermarkets. And if you want something very specific from your country, you will probably not find it here in Norway.
Oh, well, that makes sense. In an American supermarket, I wouldn't be able to find some sort of Norwegian brand cheese or anything from another country, honestly. So that makes sense. I wouldn't expect to be able to go into a Norwegian grocery store and find a brand that is very specific to something I know. So that makes sense.
Norway. So the tip is, as before with the alcohol, bring your favorite snacks or your favorite food that you know you won't probably find here. Bring them with you in.
I know it's not a joke, so I'm only laughing because it seems so silly to think about stuffing your suitcase full of your favorite snacks. Snacks and your favorite alcohol and snacks. Just shove it all in the suitcase. No clothing, no toothpaste, just snacks and alcohol and the necessities.
In your suitcase, or just go to the more immigrant stores that exist here in Oslo and try to find it there. The third tip is about the way you dress in Norway in the winter. Here in Norway, the trick is to dress by layers, because outside it will be very cold, but inside of every place it will be very, very warm. You would want to wear layers, so you could take the layers you need to take when you come into a place.
That's actually a good tip. I mean, even in the United States, when winter finally comes, at least you usually have a jacket and you can take the jacket off. But I get the tip. It's still a good tip, even though that's normally what you would do anyway. But you could have like a t-shirt, then a long sleeve shirt, then a hoodie, then a jacket, and then you can take off 1 to 4 different clothings, depending on how warm you want to be inside.
The fourth one is for you to learn the language before you come here. You don't need to learn like really well the language, but if you learn little bits and pieces of things that you know you will need, it will help you quite a lot when you arrive. For example,
I mean, based off the comments I read, I am convinced that I could go to Norway and the vast majority of people would be able to understand me, because Norwegians are so good at English. What is up with that? Americans are terrible at any language other than English. We don't know anything about languages or anything. Norwegians are so good at English. So many Norwegians speak English, understand English. It blows my mind. So I feel like I'd be okay. But I think learning Norwegian terms that you use frequently, or just common Norwegian phrases and places, is something you should do before going to Norway or living in Norway. As a courtesy, put some effort in. Make an effort to learn about the culture and the language, so you don't just come across as someone who expects everyone to be able to speak English, to be able to understand things for you. You want to show that you put some effort in and learn some Norwegian and stuff. So yes, I totally agree with this.
For example, you can learn how to say hello and goodbye, and that's hi and ha day. Also to introduce your
Ha day. Wait.
To say hello and goodbye, and that's hi.
Oh, hi. That's it? Oh, that's easy. Hi. That's the same thing as English for hi. Okay. Ha day?
And ha det. Also, to introduce yourself, you can say Jag heter Monica och jag kommer från Portugal. Jag bor i Oslo och jag är en arkitekturstudent.
Oh yeah. Totally easy. Yeah, no problem. I have no idea what she just said, but
Portugal. Introduce yourself, you can say Jag heter Monica och jag kommer från Portugal.
I can't even repeat that. I was going to try to repeat this, but it is a little too long. I'd need it broken up into sections, so I won't bore you with my bad attempt this time.
Jag bor i Oslo och jag är en arkitekturstudent. The fifth tip is starting to be interested on subjects that you know Norwegians like. And then you will have enough things that you know that you can speak with a Norwegian person to start a conversation, and that really helps to make friends in Norway.
Oh, now we're just now we're talking about like social skills and stuff. Wow. These tips really cover a variety of subjects. How to make friends in Norway. I mean, she's not wrong. That's good advice.
The sixth tip is a very important one. If you are not from any Scandinavian country, you will probably never tasted lakris before. If someone offers you some sweet thing that is black and sometimes it has salt around it, you will think it's sugar, but it's not sugar, it is salt. Do not eat it, or just give a tiny little bite to see if you like it or not, because it will be really strong. So yeah, careful with lakrish.
Laklish? I've never heard of this. What is this? Laklish? Norway? I didn't spell it right, did I? Dang it. Black salt Norway. Does that do it? No, this is literally black salt candy? Is it a type of candy? Lock. Oh, how did she say that?
The seventh tip will be really strong. So yeah, careful with lakrish.
Laklish? I've never seen that. What is that? What's it supposed to taste like? Is it candy? Do people just walk up to you and randomly hand it to you? She makes it sound like people are just trying to give you some laklish, like, hey, try this. It's so they can laugh at you because it's got such a weird taste and you're going to make a weird face when you... I'd try it. Although we really don't have any salty candy except for chips. So I can see where it would have a taste that I probably have never really experienced. That's why she said take a really tiny bite. Huh. I'm really interested now in that.
The seventh tip, it also has to do with something that you would probably not want to eat. And this is a very traditional Norwegian, I think, like Scandinavian fish called lutefisk.
Lutefisk. Well, I do not really eat fish in general. I don't know if that sounds super weird, but a lot of Americans just don't eat fish ever because a lot of us don't live by the coast. So I certainly have never had this fish.
Region, I think, like Scandinavian fish called lutefisk. I thought it was just a normal fish, and I bought it and I tried to make it in the oven and I deeply regret it. It's a very transparent, almost like jellyfish. Of course, you can always try it, and I would say you should try it, but I'm just warning you. Next tip is...
I feel like there's a lot of stuff in Norway. As an American, I'd go and I'd be like, I gotta take one bite of this. There'd be a bunch of stuff that would seem totally disgusting and weird to me because I don't have that experience and it's not native to America and I'm not familiar with the culture. There'd be all these fish foods and animal foods, and I'd just be like, oh, I feel like I have to take a bite of this just to try it. You gotta, right? You gotta live a little.
Learning how to walk on ice. Here in the winter, warning you. Next tip is learning how to walk on ice. Here in the winter, it gets really cold, and sometimes the street is covered by a layer of ice. And you have to walk like you were a penguin.
I used to live in a state. I used to live in Pennsylvania, where we did get a decent amount of snow and ice in the winter. So I do actually know how to walk on ice. And this is exactly how I would describe it. You have to direct your weight straight down onto the ice. Because as soon as you slip it forward, you're gonna slip. So you have to really stomp down and maybe have some spiky shoes or something.
And I'm not joking, this is true. You have to walk like you were a penguin. So just watch some penguin films and try to imitate them while they walk on ice. And the other thing you could do is to buy this spiky things that you put under your shoe to walk.
There you go.
And that way the spikes go onto the ice and you don't slip. The next advice is to learn how to cook proper meals. If in your country your mother cooks for you and then you move and you are alone and you have to cook for yourself, or if you are used to order from the internet or going to restaurants, you will surely have to learn how to cook, because restaurants in Norway are very, very expensive. So, or you have a really good salary and you go every day to a restaurant.
I would say a lot of Americans do eat out pretty frequently. Sounds like a lot more than Norway. Very few Americans genuinely cook food at home, like homemade food, raw food. A lot of people get pre-made dinners that you can just put in the microwave or just put in the oven and it just cooks the whole thing. I don't know if that's common in Norway as well. I know Norwegians like pizzas, oven pizzas. We do that. I could just live on pizza, I guess.
Or you will just go to a restaurant in special occasions. So learn how to make good food and healthy food that you can cook at home. And
yeah, I mean, to her point, it does sound like Norway has a lot of great, fresh, amazing food that you'd want to take advantage of. So to do that, you'd need to learn how to cook, and that's worth it. That's just a skill that would be good to have, no matter who you are. So yeah, I agree with this.
finally, the last tip that I have for you guys, it also has to do with winter. And that's because winter here, it's very dark. We don't have that much sun. Well, in Oslo, it's not that bad. But there are places in Norway where you basically don't have any sun in winter. People get a little bit more depressed.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I learned a little about this, how little sunlight there can be in parts of Norway. That is crazy. And yeah, that's proven by like scientists and studies. When you don't get a lot of sunlight, you get sadder, you get depressed. It's something humans really want.
So my tip for you is to buy loads of candles, so you can have your house full of candles with pretty lights, and that really helps you feel more warm and cozy. Another thing...
Okay. I'm laughing just because it's not something I've ever done, but that's a good tip. If you have nothing else, then candles. Candles are nice. Definitely lift your spirit a bit.
Is that since you don't have a lot of light, it gets a little bit more difficult to grow plants. So if you decorate your house with some fake, nice, beautiful plants, I'm sure that will help you go through winter. So those were my tips for you guys on how to survive Norway. I hope you liked this, and I also hope that this didn't offend anyone, especially anyone that is Norwegian. And don't forget to check the online course.
Yeah. No, that didn't offend me. I liked that. This was by Mon Ami. I liked that. These were good tips. These were very practical, honestly. Now I get it. How to survive Norway. I get it now. These are good tips. Oh, there are limits on how much food or alcohol you can bring into Norway. Even from Sweden. Yeah, I would have thought so. That makes sense. Oh, if you speak English, you can communicate with almost anyone. Norwegians love to speak English. Lucky me. actually many of us prefer to do with strangers, so we get practice. Yeah. Very good. That is very good news for me. Oh, anything else? Lots of good advice. Eat D vitamins. Oh, vitamin D, which you get from sunlight. That's good advice. Get some vitamin D. You can get back pain if you don't have enough vitamin D. That's a thing. Okay. If you buy English beer in Norway, the price is nearly 10 times what we pay in England. So that's true. Okay. This was good. This was a good video. These were very kind of random tips, but that's perfect. You know, these were just practical, good tips for when you go to Norway, things you need to be thinking about. Food, your beer, your alcohol, your snacks, not slipping and splitting your head open on the ice. That's good to worry about. All sorts of little things. This was cool. This was like, I liked how specific these were. I always appreciate that. Anyway, if you appreciated this video as well, feel free to give this a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway, Norwegian culture, stuff going on in Norway, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.